Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Welcome back to the Disciplines and Ideas in the Social Sciences. This is the video lesson for Module 3, Social Science Disciplines. Please click on the subscribe button and like the video. If you have questions, write them in the comments below. Thank you. The MELC for this module is for the student to explain the major events and their contributions to the emergence of the social science. Specifically, this module will help you to recognize the various social science disciplines, compare and contrast the various social science disciplines, and appreciate the importance of the various social science disciplines and understand the burning issues in the society. A little review from Lesson 2. Answer the following questions. Question number 1. Mrs. Aziz, a researcher, made interpretations across both the qualitative and quantitative databases in order to satisfactorily answer her desired research questions. Which of the following groups of research methods did she use? I. Empirical analytical group. B. Interpretative group. C. Mixed methods group. Qualitative group. The answer is C, mixed methods group. Question number 2. When a researcher hopes to investigate a specific issue or phenomenon such as an activity or an event, in one or more real-life settings over a long period of time, what qualitative research design is the most appropriate to use? I. Case study. B. Ethnography. C. Grounded theory. D. Phenomenological research. The correct answer is letter I. Case study. Question number 3. To confirm if public libraries can truly be effective therapeutic landscapes for persons with mental health problem, Mr. Ali, a psychologist, decides to conduct a qualitative research. Which of the following qualitative research designs is the most suitable for his research problem? I. Case study. B. Ethnography. C. Grounded theory. D. Phenomenological research. The is I. Case study. Number 4. Mr. Ahmad, a social worker, wants to gather information about his client's history and strengths so that he can systematically identify their actual needs. Which of the following research methods is the best for Mr. Ahmad to attain his objective? I. Interview. B. Observation. C. Questionnaire. D. All of the above. The correct answer is D. All of the. Number 5. As a future researcher, what mixed methods design will you use if you want to employ the initial qualitative results in determining the suitable research instruments to use in the second phase, which is the quantitative phase? I. Transformative mixed methods. B. Convergent parallel mixed methods. C. Exploratory sequential mixed methods. D. Explanatory sequential mixed methods. Answer is C. Explanatory sequential mixed methods. A reminder on the virtue of seeking knowledge. Sahil bin Muad bin Anas narrated from his father that, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever teaches some knowledge will have the reward of the one who acts upon it, without that detracting from his reward in the slightest." Sunnah ibn Majaj. Book 1. Hadith 240. Social science disciplines. There are 9 major disciplines in social science. These are anthropology, demography, economics, geography, history, linguistics, political science, psychology and sociology. Let us take a look at each of the disciplines in details. Anthropology is the study of humans. It came from the root words anthropos, meaning human being, and logos, meaning the study of. It is a discipline that seeks to understand all aspects of human life, including past and present social and cultural processes and biological adaptations. This broad field of study analyzes culture by exploring the people's systems of communication, patterns of behaviors, principles or values, tools or ornaments, and even the manners of grouping themselves. It investigates the changes in the traditions, various cultural groups that occurred throughout the years. Although a little bit similar with sociology, anthropology focuses more on culture and cultural matters of humans. The fields of study under anthropology are cultural anthropology, biological or physical anthropology, archaeology, and linguistics. Anthropology became a field of study mostly because of the need to study the concept of and its relationship to human life in different times and places. Demography. It is etymologically characterized as writings about population, which was derived from two ancient Greek words demos, meaning the people, and graphia, meaning writing about or recoding something. Demography is the statistical study of human populations. Demography examines the size, structure, and movements of populations over space and time. This is used for analyzing and social, cultural, and economic trends related to population. For example, according to a forecast made by Statista Research Department in the year 2017 about the Japan's age range, the number of Japanese people aged 65 and above would increase from 36.2 million, year 2020, to 36.8 million in the year 2025. The working age at the same time period is said to shrink. This prediction will Government of Japan to plan for a solution ahead of time. This is a simple example of how demography is utilized. In other aspects, demography has proved to be a very important and useful field of study. Economics. Economics originated from the Greek word oikonomia, meaning household management. Economics is the study of production, consumption and allocation decisions under conditions of scarcity. It studies role of the market and the government in economic activities, especially in the regulation of the outputs. Its primary goal is to develop better economic policies in order to mitigate about the allocation of scarce resources or the distribution of wealth and to maximize the benefits that the people will get from consuming goods and services. It has two subdisciplines, macroeconomics and microeconomics. Macroeconomics studies the performance of the economy as a whole. Some of the topics included in macroeconomics are economic growth, inflation, changes in employment and employment, trade performance with other countries, and others. Microeconomics, on the other hand, looks at economics at the level of individual consumers, groups of consumers, or firms. Its main focus is the efficient allocation of scarce resources between alternative uses. Geography. Geography is derived from two Greek words geo, meaning earth, and graphia, meaning recoding something or writing about. Etymologically defined as description of the Earth's surface. Geography includes topics about landscapes or topographies, the climatic conditions, the living things, floras and faunas, interaction of people and their surroundings. It serves as the bridge. The social sciences and the natural sciences, particularly the earth sciences, as it examines the people and their environments and analyzes the geographical relationships between all cultural and physical phenomena in the world. One of the notable output that came from the convergence of geography and information technology is the Geographic Information System. By using past and present in the geography of a specific area or location, changes about climate and landscapes can be forecasted. Causes of change as well as its impact can also be predicted. History. History is derived from the Greek word historia, which means inquiry or knowledge from inquiry or investigation. The study of history tries to reconstruct various recorded human events and natural phenomena. It involves the systematic detection, collection, organization, and presentation of substantial evidences about several past events using information from different sources. Two types of sources in the study of history. The primary sources are those that show substantial evidence directly. For example, diaries, video footages, official records, pictures, narratives from the people who experienced the phenomena firsthand, and others. Secondary sources are sources that have been already processed or published and you just have to use them. Some examples are documentaries, encyclopedia, books, and other. Linguistics. Although considered as a field under anthropology, linguistics is still a discipline on its own due to its very broad topics. Linguistics came from the Latin word lingua, meaning language or tongue. It is the scientific study of various human or natural languages and their structures, such as sounds, words, phrases, and sentences. Linguistics analyzes the nature of different human languages by closely examining their formal properties or features. Some features of the language that is studies in linguistics are displacement or imagination, arbitrariness or flexibility, productivity or creativity, discreteness or uniqueness, dualism or double articulation, and cultural transmission or acquisition. Political science. It is etymologically defined as the science of city-state, which was originated from Greek word polis, meaning city-state, and the Latin word scire, meaning to know. Political science is an academic discipline that deals with the study of government and political processes, institutions, and behaviors. This subject of interest is the systematic analysis of various institutions and processes, sources and limits of political power and its manifestations, types of legitimate authority or rule, and systems of government. Although it has interconnection with other social science disciplines, it is distinguished by its focus on power. The following are the common fields under political science: domestic politics, comparative politics, international relations, political theory, public administration, public law, and public policy. Psychology. Derived from the Greek word psyche, which means soul or mind. Psychology is the scientific investigation of different human behaviors and the factors that shape humans and affect their behaviors or reactions. Its main goals are to figure out how people living in a certain society act and behave in a specific manner, predict how people think and act, and to treat different mental conditions for improved well-being. Other topics studies in psychology are physical structures of the human body such as the nervous system, endocrine system and the like. Mental states such as the study of the conscious and the unconscious parts of the human brain. Cognitive processes such as critical thinking, problem solving, and others. And personality traits and many others. There are people who paved way for the study of psychology to be known as how it is today. One of the most notable is Wilhelm Wundt. He was largely credited for making psychology a separate field of science. In 1874, he wrote The Principles of Physiological Psychology, which is considered as the first textbook in psychology. In 1879, Wundt opened the Institute for Experimental Psychology at the University of Leipzig. This institution is said to be the first laboratory to investigate solely psychological phenomena and has opened up a lot of doors to the study of psychology. Sociology. Sociology is derived from the Latin word socius, which means companion, and logos, which means study of. Sociology is the systematic analysis of the various developments, systems, structures, and functions of human society. It examines how individuals behave and interact with each other as members of the society and investigates the different social influences that affect general of human behavior and interaction. Some of the topics studied in sociology are historical events, such as revolutions, reforms, wars and others. It also studies social institutions such as the family, education, religion, kinship and others. Socially derived cultural norms are also studied as well as different social problems such as poverty, gender, discrimination, and others. Let's have a short activity. Given the idea, question or social issue below, identify which discipline in social science would be appropriate to study the issue in order to resolve it. Briefly explain your answer. Number 1. The increasing cases of anxiety and depression amongst teenagers. Answer. Psychology. Psychology will be able to study how different factors affect the teenagers, what causes feel anxious or depressed, and what are the possible solutions for this. Number 2. The improvement of a state's constitution. The answer is political science. A constitution is the charter of a state, it is the law above all others. In order to improve a constitution, one must study different concepts on politics and governance as well as policy making. Number 3. Compilation of records and financial information about the events that took place during the DISS. Answer. History. There are several experts who ascertain that DISS is not a legitimate people war as opposed to the DISS revolution in 1986. By studying history, an individual will be able to compile records and other substantial information about the DISS. Number 4. The preservation of the traditional Kalinga tattoo art. The answer is anthropology. Kalinga tattoo art is one of the oldest traditional art in practice here in the Philippines and is still preserved until today. Number 5. Studying the current natality and employment rate of the Philippines in trying to predict the state of the country in 10 years. The answer is demography. As demography, study of population and the analysis or its different structures and dimensions, demography will help you in trying to predict the state of the Philippines in 10 years' time. That is all for Module 3. See you in the next lesson.